Station Houston on Space to Ground 2 for Ann and exercise.
Right on 2.
Hey, just wanted to let you all know you guys are go for exercise. And we've completed A bolts.
Happy, thank you, and well done to the robo teams for making fast work of that.
Yeah, copy and concur.
And second stage berthing is complete. That was Capcom Neil Nagata confirming that all 16 bolts are now tightened and secured with the Cygnus spacecraft.
I first met Owen when I got to the astronaut office in 1985. He was still an active astronaut, and of course he was selected in the fourth group of Apollo astronauts as one of the scientist astronauts, although he never got to fly an Apollo. He did fly the third Skylab mission and did 3 spacewalks, 14 hours in space, and he mentioned that the biggest thing they learned on that mission was the importance of exercise. What I remember most about Owen when I got to the astronaut offices was, Owen was a gentleman. I mean, he was just struck me as a fine gentleman. He was knowledgeable. He always acted in a manner that made you respect him. And I certainly did. And he went on to great things beyond the astronaut office, but I think he had an outstanding career. He was an American hero, but I think his quest for knowledge is what I remember. He was always asking questions. He was always seeking to learn on his space shuttle mission, on his Skylab mission, and even after that.
It is certainly my honor that I may have the opportunity to be up here for 3 expeditions and to continue the great work that the space station is doing and to contribute to it. I'm certainly excited as someone who's been here for a month already. I still have the grin on my face that won't seem to go away, just that I'm here every day. I wake up excited and pinching myself. So I'm very excited to continue my stay. In terms of records, I don't necessarily count numbers or days. I just think about doing my best every day that's ahead of me. So if I am fortunate enough to do that, and if that's something that inspires people on the ground, then of course that's something that is also my honor to be a part of.
I've tried to celebrate it a little bit, but you're right, we've been working really hard the whole time since we were selected back as astronaut candidates in 2013 and to last year when I started training for a space station flight and over in Russia as well. So they keep us incredibly busy, especially right now, going back and forth between training trips in Russia and here, learning how to be the co-pilot of the Soyuz, which I'll be doing, and then coming back here and learning all about all the different space station systems and all the science and everything that we'll be doing on board. So definitely a lot of work, but trying to enjoy it and revel in it a little bit as well.
Well, I'm very excited about the possibility of staying 9 months on board the ISS. I've been preparing for this mission for almost 6 years to get to this point, and I'm ready to do what the ISS program has asked of me, and been mentally prepared for the idea of my mission being extended for a little while now, and so my family and I are ready to take on this very exciting challenge.
I do find myself drawing on my experiences from the Arctic and Antarctic since I've been here quite a bit. And in fact, when I first did my first season at the South Pole, I signed up for a year there at the South Pole as a rookie as well. And so I entered into that, you know, keeping the expectations low and just being prepared to adapt to any situation that came along the way. And I find that a lot of the things I learned there, I'm using here. So both technically and personally, and kind of the mentality that you enter into an expedition like this with, I do draw on those experiences.
Being away from my family is going to be a challenge, but it's a challenge that they're ready for. My military career took me away from my family a number of times in deployments to Iraq and Afghanistan. And while this is going to be a little bit longer than any of those deployments, my family is very resilient and they're going to be ready for this challenge. We have a great support network here on the ground.
When we found out that it could be a possibility, and when I say we, I do mean Drew Morgan and I, who are both extending into a third expedition on board, we were given the advice to reach out, and we did. And I talked to both Peggy and Scott, and I think they had some great words. Peggy in particular, she said, find what you love and make sure you have it up there and that you embrace it and you're able to do it, because that's what's going to sustain you. And Scott Kelly had some great advice talking about pacing and making sure that you're ready for the long haul. And also my husband and I actually together were listening to his book, because there's a lot of advice in there that has helped us. So they've been instrumental actually, and it's great to see how much they have reached out to us and been willing to share their experiences. It's my honor to follow in Peggy's footsteps. Peggy has been a mentor and a heroine of mine for many, many years. She always stepped in and helped our class through tough times and challenges when we were in our training program. And so I hope that me being up here and giving my best every day is a way for me to say thank you to people like her, who not only paved the way through their examples, but actively reached out to make sure that we could be successful as well. I don't necessarily count days or numbers. It's definitely a lot very early in the process to start talking about records, but I just really take it one day at a time.
Our class was the first 50% female, 50% male representative, and so we're used to being in that equal environment already. So I think it's really just reflecting where we are now in society, and that makes it even better for us. We can celebrate that, and I think, you know, if it does help us inspire the young girls that are out there, we are absolutely there to do that as well, because we remember what it was like. I think it's always useful to have that kind of role model, to see somebody that embodies something that you can identify with, whether that's, you know, your background or something, some piece of your background or some piece of your personality, or perhaps even what you look like, in terms of thinking, wow, maybe I could do that too. And I think that is really important. It's one of the reasons why I think it's also really important for us to do outreach in terms that are really have an individual impact and a personal impact. One of my favorite appearances was when I went back to my hometown and went to the school system there and talked to the students. And one girl after the talk came up to me afterward and said, that just changed everything for me. That was really game changing, because I grew up in the same town as you, and it just suddenly made me realize that I could really do anything I wanted. And so having that kind of personal connection, that kind of role model that someone can identify with from their own perspective, I think really can be invaluable in the long run.
Yep, I agree with everything Jessica said. It's a great honor to hopefully inspire people. I think examples do matter. I know that seeing women in doing awesome work in positions in engineering and science and fulfilling all of their dreams, it truly inspired me, and so it's part of paying homage to those people that paved the way for us to be where we are today, as well as inspiring the future. I do think examples matter, and so it's important that people just see that it's normal for people of all shapes, sizes, genders to be able to fulfill the dreams that they have.
Being away from my family is going to be a challenge, but it's a challenge that they're ready for. My military career took me away from my family